All right, who wants to give our intro?
Do we have an intro?
Mr. Young, you're giving the intro.
What exactly is our intro? The beginning of our last video was just us rambling about what should our name be?
Welcome to the wall, guys. All right, so what do we want to talk about today?
I think we should talk about the thing that is on our minds that takes up our weekends these days. Not Jason's that much, but me and Anthony's open houses, thinking about real estate, thinking about getting out of the rental phase and owning something. So let's kick it off. Jason, since
Sure.
you're not putting that much time in open houses, what do you feel about real estate?
Sure. So, not really looking at real estate for myself to live in right now. Like you said, I'm kind of not in that spot, I guess. I'm also getting a pretty good deal on my current place rent-wise, so it makes sense to stick around. And don't really think I could afford to buy someplace I want to live right now, right? The market's kind of insane, but it has been for years. Yeah, I think a lot of our viewers are going to be from this area, or will hear us talking about it, and the real estate market has been just crazy inflated prices.
For people who are looking at this video in 2050, Jason got what is called the COVID deal for the century.
Yes. Yep. Got in on the COVID special for my rent, and most older buildings in this town are rent controlled, so I'm pretty set for the next little while.
Nice. That's cool. You did mention that you were gonna look at some investment properties possibly.
That's true. I'm in a group of a couple of my old buddies from college. We're looking at investing in real estate. Our focus is kind of more short-term real properties. So looking at like vacation homes in like either ski towns or beach towns or something along those lines. We're looking at areas near ski resorts, near like national parks or state parks, or otherwise near beaches.
That's cool. Whenever I go check out these Airbnbs near, let's say, a college town for a game or something, it's usually like $1,000 a night, and they have this that rental value to it. That even though it's not a super expensive town, they can on certain days during the year they can rent it out for basically $1,000 and make a lot of money on it. So that's cool. That's cool. So my situation is I'm renting right now, staying with my fiance. We live in a nice building. The rent is high. We did get slapped with a huge rent hike after the COVID special because it's not a rent controlled building. And that sparked the thought of why don't we buy something? But it's such a fast moving, I would say, market in which we think the rents are catching up to the property prices, but then the property prices increase, but you also have the fear of what if I get another huge rent hike in the next cycle? Should I buy a property right now, lock it in? So here we are, high interest rate, what looks to be like an elevated priced real estate market. Me and my fiance are going every weekend basically to open houses. We like a lot of things, but when it comes time to pull the trigger, we start getting into calculations, and I don't know, it hasn't worked out till now. So I think Anthony and I have been together to open houses as well, done those calculations. It's hard to pull the trigger. What do you think, Anthony?
Yeah, well, just to clarify, I'm not Shresh's fiance,
I was going to say.
but we have gone to several open houses.
We should have kept that a mystery.
Yeah,
Will they, won't they?
yeah. But no, we've gone to open houses together, which is like really fun, and it's a fun thing to do on the weekends too, and check out spaces because whenever you're looking at a place with someone else, you get a different perspective, and you're kind of leveraging, double the mind power and brain power, which is really neat. So you see things and discuss things that you wouldn't normally see, I think, if you were just one person alone. So that's really cool. So I've been looking for places too the past few years. Originally was really set on getting a multifamily property. Made a couple offers on places a few years ago, which, looking back at it now, those places would have been so underpriced compared to what you see now. Like most of the places, the same places that I bid on 2.5 years ago are now double the price of what they were, which is pretty wild. So that's kind of the situation. For me, I like my apartment. I've been here for a while. This is my apartment. It's also doubling as a podcast studio. So, maybe in the future this can just be a podcast studio. That's the dream,
Is it rent controlled though?
Yeah. It's basically rent controlled.
Nice.
My landlord has been really great and hasn't really raised the rates too much the past few years. I've been here for almost 7 years now.
Yeah.
But with that being said, there's still some amenities and things that I would like, which, are definitely important to me, like having a separate bedroom / office space, in-unit washer dryer, parking, like a bigger apartment that can fit a bigger bed. Like my bed is a full size, which is ridiculous because I'm a 6'2" adult. So that's
The tallest of the wall
the
guys.
tallest of the wall
guys.
guys. Yeah, so you would think I would have a bigger bed, but it can't fit in.
California
in
king
here.
is what you need.
Yeah, exactly. I do need that. So there are some niceties and amenities that I want in my next place. So I'm looking proactively because of that.
Yeah, it's just like, again, going back to the piece of, it feels like everybody's buying as well, because even in the interest rate hiking and everything, properties are going over ask. So there's clearly more demand than supply. And as you said, like that just pushed the prices in the last 2 years
Oh yeah.
to like double what they were, at least in this market. I live in the adjacent location, and like that too has increased, not at the level where we are right now, but like it's just crazy right now to make sense of anything. So what do? We just keep looking, keep window shopping, and see how things are. Everybody keeps saying that there's going to be this big recession and like property prices are going to come down. I don't know what's going to happen, but looks to me that it's pretty like solid moving at this point. So that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there's going to be that kind of recession, and I also wonder too, like, and this is a little contrarian, but I feel like so many people think that right now is a bad time to buy, and that there's so little on the market, and that interest rates are so high that maybe it's actually a good time to buy. It's like maybe the opposite is actually true. It's like, think about what was it, last year in the summertime when oil prices were sky high and gasoline prices were sky high. Everyone was like, oh yeah, these prices are going to be high forever. Like, it's going to be high like in perpetuity next 6 months. I don't think they're going down. No way. Literally, if you polled probably like 80% of people, it would have said like, oh yeah, oil prices are so high. And in the fall, oil prices went down.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm not saying this is like directly like that.
Yeah.
But maybe there's something to be said there where there's so much thought process where like it's a bad time to buy, bad rates, bad prices. A scenario where it's a good time to buy is if inflation goes higher, right? If inflation gets higher than the expected drop, well, then now becomes a better time to buy than the future. Or, I don't know. Like if prices continue to escalate and prices actually don't go down at all, but interest rates go down, now is still a good time to buy because you could refinance in the future.
That's
You
true.
know, so it's not, and you'll have a lower purchase price if the prices go up.
Yep.
So there's different things to think about. I also think if you're looking for like a financial gain, it's very tough to do in this kind of area, in the kind of buildings that we're looking at. Like for me, it'd be like small multifamilies, or even just like a smaller condo or you with like a bigger condo, very difficult for that to appreciate enough as you need it to over the next like 5 years, say,
Yep.
to like make back your money or, you know, actually grow.
That's true. And in our corporate language, double clicking on that,
Double click. Yeah.
I feel like it depends on person to person. So, for example, if you buy a single family home, the time horizon that you can use that property or keep that property could be a decade or more than that.
Yeah.
That gives you enough time for things to even out, interest rates, property appreciation, and stuff, and it might make sense to buy versus rent. Versus what I was thinking of, which was like a bigger 2-bedroom, 2-bath, or something that can hold me over till the next 5 years. And what kills that calculation is the 6% buyer and seller fee when I have to sell the property in 5 years and buy something bigger because I need like a single family home or a double family home or something. So like it totally depends on what we are in the market for as well. Maybe it's fine to rent right now if I don't know where my not a forever home, but like a home that is gonna help me stay in till like the next 7 to 10 years. But yeah, it's nobody knows. Nobody can predict it. Just like the stock market.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see.
You know, I think another thing to consider might be not in this area, maybe an old castle in Europe. That's what we should be buying.
Yes. Or an old church or cathedral.
Yeah. Turn it into like a brewery.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you remember there were so many defunct churches
Yeah.
in Belgium
That's
Yep.
right.
that were up for sale like
Tent, yeah.
250 grand
Yeah.
or something?
There was an empty church every other block.
Yeah, yeah, we should do that. And what's stopping us to do that here in the U.S.? There are plenty of churches. They're converting it into apartments,
Fancy apartments. Yeah.
which I would argue people would sell to the developer guy
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
rather than three guys who's gonna open up a brewery as a passion project. But yeah, Europe sounds good. We should do
Yep.
it.
Yeah, we just got to find a company that'll take all three of us.
Yeah. We
I
come
mean-
as a package deal.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not picky. It could be Italy. It could be south of France. You know,
Yeah,
I know.
whatever, guys.
You're the easy guy.
That's
You're the
true.
easy guy. Yeah. But yeah, till we make sense of all this, I think we should stop reading the Wall Street Journal or looking at multiple videos because there are divergent views.
Oh,
There
sure.
are
Yeah, yeah.
like views that resonate with what we are trying to think. But I think to sum it up, it's to each its own. To each his own. In a way that like everybody's situation could be different. Every market that they are in could be different. Suburbs could be different than metropolitan cities. The stage that you are in your life could be different. So this is just our view from where we are and what we're doing right now.
Yeah. What are you looking to get out of buying a condo and moving? Like, what's your main? So, like, my thing, you know, I mentioned like having a bigger bedroom, having room to move in, parking, in-unit washer dryer, a little bit more square footage, space, things like that. What are your some of the things that you're looking for?
I think
I don't know if we've
That-
ever talked about it.
Yeah. So I always ask myself this when I like a house and I'm gonna put an offer in. I ask that question and I then don't make an offer. So I think the biggest thing for me is the fear of rent hike.
Yeah.
And like the rent hike was double digits this
Yeah.
time. And it just made me realize there is no protection. It's like totally dependent on market forces. Like if next year that pocket when my renewal is up, if that time is crazy, I would just get a rent hike. It's like so fast moving that certain months like rents are high, certain months it's not that crazy. So whoever got a renewal at that point. They might settle for less. But I think it's the fear of rent hikes. I do think that it's a good way to park money if you have money saved up, because I, for one, I'm not comfortable putting all my money in the stock market, or what everyone says on CNBC, put your money to work. I can't do that. Like, real estate is something that I feel confident because it's a physical asset that I can park money in. It also leads to forced savings. We've talked about this in the past, like the mortgage installments each month force you to essentially save in the physical asset. And it's not like you pay rent and whatever other money you have, you spend it on luxury items or trips or something like that. So it helps in that self-control or automatic savings to that extent. But like, again, it could be different for different people. Some people are super disciplined. They know how to save money each month. Or you could be like Jason, put all your money in one stock, or 3x market bull. But some people are not just lucky, like gifted like Jason. So Jason? So we both have our reasons to be thinking why to buy property, or why we are looking at buying property.
Yep.
What's your reason? What's your number one reason for looking at investment properties?
Sure. So, I mean, largely driven by the same idea of wanting to diversify some of my capital outside of just, stocks and other securities. I do want some exposure to real estate. I considered doing that via like a REIT or something like that. But I think something more direct, and also is just a kind of a interesting project to look at with a group of friends. And I think it's really driven by wanting to get my feet wet in the real estate space and see if that's something that could be like a potential avenue.
That makes sense. Because we all have had someone who's made so much money in real estate that we were like, okay, one day we'll make that money as well. That's never gonna happen. Anyway, all right. That concludes our episode on real estate.
There we go. We hope you enjoyed this podcast and this video. Like, subscribe, check out our other videos. Follow us on all the socials.
Don't take our advice.
Yeah.